Hi guys, welcome back to the Knitting Expat Podcast. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Hi, my name is Mina. It has been a long time since I filmed a podcast video. Today it is the 2nd of April 2025. I can't believe we're already in the 4th month of the year and this is the first podcast episode I'm putting out this year so far. I don't think I've done a podcast since November of last year. I know I did Vlogmas in December, but I don't think I did I don't think I did a podcast episode since November. Anyway, it has been a while. Welcome back. I keep meaning to sit down and film a video since January pretty much, and something keeps coming up. It's just one thing after another and it just never happened. And today I was like, okay, that's it, let's just do it. And so I am slightly unprepared, a bit disheveled, and I've just sat. Anyway, we're gonna give this a go. I think I'll do a little bit of chit chat at the beginning because it's been quite a while. I've got a lot to catch you guys up on. To be honest, I can't remember what I have and haven't mentioned. I've also not been particularly active on Instagram, or like that's really the only other social media I use. But if you did want to follow me there, I am just at Knitting Expat on Instagram. All my links are in the description box below. Yeah, so I keep meaning to post. I keep taking pictures of things and I'm like, oh, I'll post this later, and I just never get around to it, and then too much time passes and it just doesn't feel like it's worth posting anymore. So yeah, a lot has happened in the last few months, and like I said, it's just been a bit, life has been hectic. It's always hectic. You've got 2 little kids, life's always like go go go, but it's been particularly chaotic this year so far, shall we say. It's not much I can talk about right this second, but I will be sharing more about some changes that are happening later this year for our family. All good things, nothing bad. I do have one little bit of sad news which I will touch upon a bit later, and I will give a trigger warning for anyone who doesn't want to hear about it. So you can skip that part if you want. But first things first, I had a haircut, if you couldn't tell. So I got my hair chopped off again. It had been a long time since my last haircut. I think the last time I'd had my haircut, Layla was 4.5, and I'd only just found out that I was pregnant with Nova, so it was a while ago. And so yeah, got my hair all lopped off, so got my curly hair back, although it needs a wash, so it's looking a little bit limp at the moment. But yeah, got my curly hair, which is nice. I have been knitting a fair amount, but also not that much. It's a really weird sort of limbo that I'm in at the moment with my knitting. I have a few projects that are on the go in various stages of completion, planning. I have a few designs that are like ruminating in my mind that I am like still working on the details and planning them out. I have one that I've always finished, a new design that is mostly written up and mostly graded. It's a sweater. I'll show you the progress on that. I've literally just got the sleeves left to do. I need to do the calculations and the planning for the sleeves, and then knit the sleeves and then send it off to tag editor and all that fine stuff. I have 2 patterns ready to go. One I just need to photograph, and the other one I just need to publish. Like, they've been ready since January and I just haven't. Hectic life. So I've had a pair of socks and a kids cardigan ready to go since January, and I just haven't done it yet. I just need to pull the trigger and get it done. So yeah, just working on getting those done. Like I said, one of them just needs photos taken, and I couldn't find my sock blockers for ages and only realised the other day they're hanging off that lamp at the back there. They're right there. They've been here the whole time and I couldn't find them, staring at me. Anyway, so I've got those coming. I've got, like I said, I've got one in the works. I've got a couple of other patterns that I've got the yarn wound up for, and I just need to sit down. I need to go like find my the right size needles and get going with that. The problem is I'm kind of in the midst of reorganizing the attic and tidying up and getting rid of stuff, and one of the things I really need to go through is I've got like a basket where I've thrown all my needles and notions and everything into, and anytime I need to use one of them I have to like go digging through this basket, and it's kind of just driving me bonkers, and I just really need to sort it out, and I just haven't done it yet. So there's all this stuff. Anyway, all that rambling to say, yeah, there's just been a lot going on and it's been hard to get my head into it. And Perry's work has been ramping up. He's a lot busier, he's traveling a lot more for work at the moment, which is absolutely fine, not complaining, but all that means is like more of my attention is going towards the kids in the house and doing stuff, so I have less time to dedicate to the work side of things, which is, it's fine, it's the phase of life we're in. But yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. We have a family trip coming up next week, which will be really fun. Layla is on school holidays at the moment for Easter, and so we're going to go away for a week next week. I haven't decided if I'm going to vlog or do like a little snippety vlog. It's not going to be like a super in-depth kind of like follow along daily vlog type of thing, but I might just do like a little clips here and there from our trip and put that all together in like a little compilation video at the end. I don't know, I haven't fully decided yet on that, but I guess you'll see in a couple of weeks whether that happens or not. I have some review videos that I need to do. None of them are like paid for or anything like that. I don't do paid for sponsorships. I usually do reviews in exchange for products and stuff, so I have a few of those that I need to do hopefully soon. And yeah, so let's just jump into it. I'm mostly going to be chatting about finished projects. I have one work in progress, and I guess I have some new yarn to share as well, because I did go to VKL in Vogue Knitting Live in January this year in New York. I don't have all the yarn around me that I got on that trip, but what I do have I will try and grab and show you as well towards the end. So starting out with some finished objects, I do have 6 pairs of socks, just plain vanilla socks that I knit over the first couple of months of this year, but I only have 4 pairs of them now because I've gifted 2 of them. One was for my brother and one was for my mum, so this is 1 pair. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to remember the names of all the different sock yarns and stuff. Most of these are just commercial sock yarns. They're either something like, they're either James C. Brett, King Cole, there's another brand as well that yeah, it's like King Cole Zigzag, I think it was one of them. I can't remember which one it's for. There's a few, just basically commercial sock yarns that are available here in the UK. So this is one. Actually, I think this one was a yarn I got from Lidl, if I remember correctly. There's this one. I think this one had some bamboo in it because it feels a bit different, which is really nice. And there's this one. These 3 were all standard 4-ply sock yarn, knit on 2.25 US size 1s sock needles, 2 at a time. It's my standard sock knitting method. And then this last one, I believe I knit these on 2.75mm needles, so these are US size 3s. These are DK weight socks. This is also yarn from Lidl. So yeah, these are the 4, and like I said, I did have 2 more that I have gifted already. One to my brother as part of his birthday present, and one for my mum for Mother's Day, which in the UK was just this past Sunday. And then I guess I just have a lot of blankets to share with you. So if you remember one of my last podcast episodes that I did, I shared a lot of crochet blanket projects that I was working on. Well, I've finished a few of them now, and I thought, well, why not share them? So let me grab, should I start with the one that you haven't seen any progress on, is this one. So I started out just doing a granny square, like a big granny square in the middle, and then I decided to do it more log cabin style. So once I got through the first ball of yarn, I'll talk about the yarn in a minute, the first ball of yarn in the middle, I started doing little log cabin-y style stripes around the outside, and then I just bordered it with a plain cream yarn at the end. So this yarn, I do actually have the tag for this one, is using King Cole Curiosity, so DK yarn, in the shade Merlin 2895, for anyone who's curious. That's some details on the back of the tag. So it was just after Christmas, and I don't know if you remember if I showed it in a video or in Vlogmas, I'd crocheted these little square blankets for the kids for their toys, and Nova was so happy with her little square blanket. Like I swear to God, it's like a 12 or 14 inch square blanket, like they're not big at all, and it was meant for their toys. Okay, But for about a week, for several days afterwards, Nova was insisting that that was her blanket that she was going to go to sleep with at night, and that was the only blanket that was allowed to be, like, she didn't want her duvet, she didn't want any other blanket, that was the blanket that she was going to sleep with. And I was like, crap, I need to get this kid a blanket, I need to finish one of these crochet blankets and like for her, because like that's not a blanket. But she was obsessed with this like handmade blanket that I'd made for her, and she was like, no, I must sleep with this. So I actually I started to finish off a different blanket that I had that just needed to be seamed together, and I took it with me to Perry's parents when we went to visit them after Christmas. And I was working on that, and I got it enough done. It wasn't finished, but I managed to seam enough of it together that it was big enough for her to use as a blanket. And oh my god, she was obsessed, and so I couldn't work on it anymore because she just wanted to sleep with this blanket, and I wasn't able to finish it while we were there. And so we went out one day in the little village where they live, and they've got a little craft shop there, and I popped in and they had some of this yarn. I can't actually remember how much it was, but it wasn't expensive, and they come in 150 gram cakes of yarn already wound up, ready to go. And so I got 4 of them, and I crocheted this blanket in probably less than a week. I can get back far enough so you can get a better picture of it. And as I was working on this, Nova kept coming up to me being like, is that for me? Is that my blanket? Is that for me? My blanket, mummy? I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be for you. She was like, oh, thank you, mummy. And it's so adorable. And so once I finished it and I put it on her bed, and she came home from like nursery or whatever it was that day, and she saw it, she was just like, she was so excited. She was so excited, and it's basically been in her room ever since. I've just sort of took it out this morning to bring it up and show it to you. But yeah, no, she loves it. She absolutely loves it. And it's just acrylic yarn. It is nothing special in terms of the yarn content. Yeah, it's just 100% acrylic, but she loves it, and that's all that matters. And she enjoys sleeping with it. Sometimes she doesn't, sometimes she just has her duvet, but she likes having this blanket on her bed or on the chair that's in her room. If we're snuggling before bed, she likes to drape the blanket over us, and stuff like that. So that's really sweet. So that's one crochet blanket that wasn't even in the previous video, that kind of just happened in between. And then one that I've been working on, and this has been part of my Finishing Fridays videos for a while, I think, or at least I had some of it on a Finishing Friday video, I believe. But it is my crocheted hexie blanket. This is 100% cotton. Well, I guess some of the yarn is a cotton acrylic blend, but anyway, it's basically a summery blanket. And this one's going to be for Layla. I do need to weave in some ends, because looking at it now I can see some ends flying around. But it is finished, it is seamed together, and I've even popped a border around it. So let's see if I can stand up, get back far enough. I don't think I can get back far enough to get this all in the shot. So let's see, there we go, and down to the purple at the bottom. So I'm not sure how tall, it's almost as tall as me. So if I'm holding it up, it comes up to my chin. So it's pretty long. I think it's probably big enough to cover her single bed. So yeah, I just need to weave in the ends, which I might just do after I finish filming. And then this will be ready for Layla. Yeah, so that'll be perfect for the summer as well, where it's too hot for anything woolly. So that's another crochet blanket done, which is exciting. And then this was the crochet blanket, the third crochet blanket I have to share. This was the one that I was working on to get finished for Nova quickly over Christmas, and then I got about, so it's 12 rows of 10 squares, and I got about 8 rows of 10 seamed together before she hijacked it. And it was like that for the longest time until I got it back off her to finish it off. Once I got this one finished, and I was able to like swap them out as it were, and then I finished this one. So really happy with the colours in this one and how it turned out. It was just lots of fun. This is my first proper just granny square blanket. I've never done a granny square blanket like this before. And then I just put on a simple half double crochet through the back loop border, so I did 3 rows of that. And yeah, I think the ends are all woven in on this one because I can't see any loose ends on this. But yeah, so that's all done as well. And this one, not sure how big this one is. I don't think I made this one's a little bit smaller than the other one, but this will be perfect for Nova. So they both have a cotton crochet blanket for the summertime, and you know, picnics, playing in the garden, all sorts. So that's the 3 crochet blankets that are done. I do have one more blanket to share with you actually, and this one was a knit one that I knit up in a very short space of time. So in one of my last videos I showed some yarn that I got from Knit Picks. I can't remember if this was during Vlogmas or before Vlogmas now. Like everything last year is just like blurred together. Don't remember what was what anymore. And I picked up some yarn. Don't have the tags with me. It was from one of their Whoopsie lines, so it wasn't a line of yarn they were carrying, and they were just selling what they had on sale to get rid of. I think it's because it turned out to be a little bit more pilly than they were expecting, and it's an alpaca wool blend. I think it's baby alpaca and merino. But I picked up some yarn with the intention of making myself like a cardigan or a sweater or something. So then I decided that's not what I needed, and I decided what I really need is another blanket. Because of course I need so many blankets. But no, I couldn't think what to do with the yarn, and I didn't want it to just like go into my stash and disappear, and I couldn't think of anything else to do, and I needed to knit on something because I was going to go crazy. I was in between projects and I didn't have the brain space to figure out the sleeves for the jumper I was working on, and anyway, I just needed something mindless to work on. I didn't want to do seaming, I didn't want to do any of the other finishing stuff I had to do. I just wanted something mindless to knit, and just knit and not have to think. So this is what I did. I knit a blanket. So I did a stripy sort of dark rainbow blanket. So I started at this end, did my cast on, and just did these stripes. I carried the grey yarn in between. I just carried it up, twisting it up the side when I was doing the colours, so I wasn't constantly cutting it. And I did a new method for weaving in the ends as I go, which I really liked, and I'll share about that more next time I do a Finishing Friday video. I will try and share about my it's kind of a colour work method really for weaving in ends as you go, and it works for when you have lots of colour changes, so you don't have any ends to weave in at the end, which has actually worked out really well with this blanket. So the only ends I had to weave in were from the first few rows where I wasn't doing it, first few colour changes where I wasn't doing it at the beginning, and then I started doing it, and then I didn't have to do any colour weaving in at the end. It was just the beginning and end. So anyway, I did 4 repeats of the rainbow stripes, and then I had a lot more of the grey than I had of the colours. So I had 1 skein each of the 6 colours, and then I had 4 skeins of the grey. So just the way it worked out, I had a lot more grey. I had a whole skein of grey yarn left over at the end, and I just had some little bits of each of the colours left. So I just did a big chunk of grey, used up all the last little scraps of the colours, and then did the last little chunk of grey and used up pretty much all the yarn I had. I think I had about 1800 yards of yarn. So I had 10 skeins, each skein has 180 yards, so yes, 1800 yards in total, and got this decent size blanket. So again, this one, I haven't measured it, but I'm about 5'10". This blanket, when I hold it up, comes up to my nose, so it's almost as tall as me, and it's about a meter and a bit wide, so about 40-ish inches wide and almost as tall as me. So this would be great for, this is a great sofa blanket, like a lap blanket for on the sofa. The kids can share it together. It was funny, I asked the kids, I was like, should we give this to Monani, which is my mum. So should we give this to Monani for Mother's Day? And Layla and Nova, Layla looks at it, she's like, I think I like it. Because it's rainbows, of course she likes it. So and that kid loves my mum, both of them do, they're obsessed with my mum, but Layla was just like, I want it, I like it too much, you can't give it to Monady. So I was like, okay, I guess we're keeping it then. Anyway, so I just thought that was funny. So yeah, that's the 4th blanket that I have completed. So 4 blankets and 4 pairs of socks to share with you guys today. So that's thumbnail right there. But yeah, so that's a lot that I've been working on. Like I said, clearly my brain has just been a bit frazzled recently with everything going on in our personal life, that mindlessness was what was needed for a lot of this year. Although to be fair, other than the knit blanket, the other 3 were done quite a while ago. I think most of this was finished by the end of January, mid-February. This blanket's the only one that's fairly recent. So the only work in progress I'm going to share with you today is a project that I'm working on using some Scottish Yarn Festival yarn. So I have several colourways of this. I'm trying to find all the different tags so I can give you all the accurate names. The question is, am I going to remember which colour is which? I have this green one, which is, oh my goodness, of course it had to be the one that I cannot pronounce, Colquhoun. I believe that's this one. That's the tag I just pulled out of this skein, so I think that's right. And then I've got Anderson, which I believe is this like tealy blue colour. And these are all 4-ply yarns, so it's 100 grams, 4-ply, 350 meters, 80% Shetland, 20% Cheviot yarn. Is it pronounced Cheviot or Cheviot? I don't know. Then there's this one, which I think is called Sinclair. I might be getting these last 2 mixed up. This orange rusty one I think is Sinclair. And then the yellow mustardy colour I believe is called Christie. I think I got those right, but Sinclair and Christie might be mixed up. And then I have my neutral background colour is this sort of natural off-white, and this is the Innes colourway. So I had 3, I think, or 4 skeins of the Innes colourway. I think it might have been 3, maybe 4. Either way, this is where I'm at. It is a fisherman's 2-colour fisherman rib modified drop shoulder sweater, and as you can see I have the creamy off-white colour as the main colour, and I've striped the other colours for the background colour. So it could essentially be done in either way. You could have your background colour be the outside. You kind of have to make that decision at the beginning, because once you get to picking up, once you get to picking up, joining the shoulders and picking up for the neckband and sleeves, you kind of have to have a right and wrong side. But you can decide which side you want that to be. But I decided to put it on the back side, as it have the colour as the background, just to neutralise it a little bit with the neutral colour. And you don't have to use multiple colours, you could just do it with 2 colours. It doesn't have to have, you don't have to have like 4 or however many background colours, but you can have more or less. But yeah, so that's where we're at, and now I'm just need to pick up and work on the sleeves. Everything up until this point has been written up and graded, so it should, once I get the sleeves done, shouldn't be long before this one's ready for test knitting, which just depends on my tech editor and me basically getting that sorted out. But that's my main work in progress at the moment. I have another pair of socks that I've started, and I have another pair of socks that are finished. It's a design that needs to be blocked, photographed, written up, etc, etc, all that jazz. Right, that's it for projects and stuff that I wanted to show you for right now. There are probably other things that I've done that I haven't shown you yet. I either don't know where it is and I can't remember what it was, so we're just going to leave it at that for right now. In terms of yarns, new yarns have come into my life. I have a selection of the yarns that I got from Vogue Knitting Live here to share with you, so we're going to go through that. I got some yarns from the lovely Terry from At Haynes House. I got these 3 to, I had a shawl idea in mind, I think, maybe for these 3. It's 3 skeins of DK, they're community DK, which is 100% superwash merino, 231 yards in 100 grams. And the colours are Silver Bullet, another pink Terry, and In-Game Currency for the green one. So those are the 3 colours I put together. It's very sort of like spring vibes, spring summer type vibes with those colours. And then I also picked up this skein of Space Charles, which is basically a Patrick Stewart colourway, because Charles Xavier / Picard kind of influence there. And then from Cesium Yarns, I got a couple of things from them. I got 2 skeins of this lovely sock yarn. It's the Heirloom Tomato colourway in the merino sock, 75/25 superwash merino nylon, which I thought was really cute together. I mean, they're the same colourway, but thought it was a cute colourway. I haven't decided what that's going to be yet. Probably something for the kids. And then I got a sweater quantity for this stuff. It's their DK Cherished Journal is the colourway. Strong DK 75/25, again superwash merino nylon. I've got 3, I think, or 4 skeins of this DK, and I have 2 sets of these minis, which were their special colourway for Vogue Knitting Live. It's called Muppets Take Manhattan, and this is on their squishy sock base, 80/20 superwash merino nylon. For the pattern, so the reason I have 2 sets of this is because I need to hold the yarn double, because I'm going to substitute it as like a DK. But for the pattern, when it's finally released, the dyer said they would put together DK minis rather than fingering weight minis. It's just she didn't have any DK minis in the colourway to work. Anyway, we're making it work. And so that's going to be coming soon. I've swatched for that one, so I just need to finalise my plans for the colourwork element and get on with it, basically. And the other sweater quantity of yarn that I've got are these lovely skeins from Asylum Fibres, and this is on her smooth sock base in the Jewels set of 5, and I don't know if the colour is, it's just the Jewels set. Oh, okay, yeah, so the colourway names are on here. So starting at this end, we've got Siren Song, Bodacious, Stellar, Ultraviolet, and Cosmic Heartbeat. And they're on her fingering sock weight, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. So I think this is going to be a really fun sweater of some kind. So we shall see. Words are not working today. Then I was contacted by the lovely Alina from Wollington Yarns, and she's started creating this like yarn club where you can get like a bag of minis essentially every month. And yeah, so she wanted to send me a bunch to try out, so she sent me one edition of her Wollington Yarn Club, which I thought was really cute. And the thing I really like about this is that they come wound up ready to go, that you're not getting mini skeins. And I know mini skeins are so cute, they're adorable to look at, but it's so annoying having to wind them up. I really don't enjoy it. I would much rather my minis came like this, ready to go. But that's my personal preference. I know lots of people do like the mini skeins, and like I said, I know they look beautiful, but this is by far more convenient. So I believe you get 10 in each set. Yep, that's 10. And I'll quickly run through the colours that came in this month's, or in this bundle that she sent me. So we have, I think the yarn brand is Knotted by Nish is the brand. I'll show you the label. There we go, Knotted by Nish. And again, I think they're all on the same base, 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. So the first up is Peaches and Cream. Then we have Wildfire Sunset. And we have Jaded. Ocean Commotion. I like that name, that's cute. Ocean Commotion. And then we have Forest Green. We have Cavern. We have Pine Forest. There you go. We have Meadow. That's really fun. Layla would love that one. We have Chili Pepper, which is also fun and bright. And then finally we have Dusk. It's really nice pale colours there. And yeah, so I will leave details for how you can get your hands on these minis if you're in the market for minis. And this is great for anyone who has like scrappy projects, scrappy blankets. I'm definitely going to be putting these to use in my scrappy pinwheel blanket that I'm working on for Nova at the moment. and for whatever else scrappy projects I might want to do. So yeah, definitely a great option for anyone who's looking for minis. So like I said, I will leave a link for her website in the description box below if you want to check it out. I believe they're based in the UK, so bear that in mind. And yeah, okay, I think that is everything that I had to share with you today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel really out of practice, so hopefully it wasn't too rambly and too I don't know, whatever. I will hopefully not be too long before I get back in touch again and like do another video. Like I said, I have a couple of reviews that I need to do, and we've got a holiday coming up, so yeah, hopefully there'll be more videos coming, and I do hope to be in a position to share our fun news and our announcement in a few weeks time. And then yes, I believe the rest of this year is just going to be more craziness, so I hope you don't mind coming along for the ride, however sporadic these videos may be. So if you are still here watching, if you've stuck around, thank you so much. If you are new, I hope you will want to stick around. There is a huge backlog of videos if you want to go back and watch some of my older stuff. There is years of videos at this point on this channel, so hopefully my sporadic posting won't put you off, and I will see you guys again soon. Hey guys, so I decided just to leave this bit to the very end because I know this is not necessarily the fun thing to talk about. So if talks about pets and end of life and stuff like that is not something you want to hear or be part of, or if it's too triggering or too upsetting for you, please skip this. The majority of the podcast is basically done now. If you don't want to hear this part, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. But if you do want to stay for the news, feel free to stay. Basically, long story short, Derek's not doing great. I know I shared an update about him a while ago, sort of explaining his health situation. So he has 2 types of cancer as well as some other things going on. The tumours in his leg are getting worse, and he's not responding as well to the medication that he's been on, and there's just been some developments recently that basically it's almost time basically for him. I took him to the vets the other day and she agreed that basically we're talking a matter of weeks now rather than months. It's been almost a year since he was diagnosed, and we were told about 12 months was kind of what we were looking at, and we're coming up to that now. I think he was diagnosed in May of last year, so we're coming up to that now. We're in April, so I'm not massively surprised. I've had basically the whole year to wrap my head around it and get used to the idea. We've spoken to Layla about it. We told her last year when we first found out, but sort of brought it up again with her recently, and she's taking it really hard. Like, she's really upset. Obviously I'm holding it together for her sake. Perry's struggling as well. Like, he said even though he knew it was coming, he's not prepared, and I'm like, get yourself prepared because it's happening. As much as I hate it, like, I really don't like it either, but at the same time, kind of, I think I've just come to terms with it probably a lot more than anyone else has. Nova, bless her, is not going to have a clue what's going on, but I know she'll pick up on like how we're feeling as well. So so yeah, basically just letting you guys know that he's not doing great. I mean, he seems okay, but cats are so good at hiding their pain that it's hard to tell. But I can tell that he's just not himself, and he's just a little bit, he's got like very visible symptoms of, I'm not going to go into details because it's kind of gross, and he's a lot less, he's a lot more careful when he goes up and down the stairs. I'm just trying to think about how to word it. He's a little bit less steady when he jumps and things like that, and the swelling in his leg kind of is getting worse as well. All in all, he's struggling. So yeah, I'm not sure how much longer he's going to have with us. Hopefully a few more weeks, but that is literally what we're looking at now. It's a matter of weeks, not months anymore. So so yeah, just thought I'd put that out there, let you guys know, because I know you guys have been around since the beginning. Those of you who've been around since the beginning have seen the cats in and out of my videos this whole time, and even though Hugo's always been the one to make an appearance on the videos, Derek is also a fan favourite with his little snaggletooth, and yeah, anyway, I'm going to be really sad when the time comes, and I will be honest, the most devastating part of this whole thing was having to explain to Layla that he's not going to just pass away on his own, that we have to help him with that, and her realization that it was like something that we would have to do, that yeah, that wasn't fun. That was not a fun conversation that I had to have with her the other day. So anyway, yeah, anyway, on that happy note, I'm gonna say goodbye again. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.